Hello everyone, it's me, Colden Pettit. I've decided to make another update video regarding my progress on my Diplacusis recovery. The last update I made was back at the start of September. Right now this is late November, just about a day before Thanksgiving. However, the cooling weather has lifted my concerns about ambient heat getting in the way of my sleep, and thus would have an easier time dozing off in bed, making recovery a bit easier. Despite all this, however, my progress on getting rid of my Diplacusis still proved to be agonizingly slow. Unsurprisingly. However, it is now more manageable for me to deal with, if only slightly, in all capitals. This is because I still have to make very sure that my Diplacusis is completely eradicated from my left ear, which still isn't budging, unfortunately. As I still waited for my Diplacusis to go away to very little avail, I still kept being suggested excuse me. As I still waited for my Diplacusis to go away to very little avail, I still kept being suggested on Discord ridiculous and overpowered ideas into my MS Sam universe when I'm still clearly having Diplacusis and hearing pitch problems. In fact, the RP timeline, which I now have to dub it as such to differentiate it from my main video series that's still currently on hiatus, has gone so off course that Microsoft Sam himself became a full-on villain and ended up in the Phantom Zone. A kind of direction I'd never take for the main series. As such, I generally consider the RP timeline non-canon. While Sam became a villain in a Discord RP, I was interested in mobile suits at the time, so I had an idea of incorporating those machines into my wanted level RPs, which led to me creating a sort of terrorist militia inspired by the AAHW from the Madness series, if anyone's unfamiliar. The MPF, or Microsoft Principality Forces, which later became ARMS, or Agency to Restore Microsoft Sam. But that's just me rambling about how I do on Discord. But I digress. Before I continue on, I had to get out something. As I have waited for my Diplacusis to go away, I've sort of developed a new symptom where now every time I swallow, I keep on hearing this hissing noise at my left ear, which is somewhat concerning and annoying because even though my left ear clogs up on me a bit less often, it still nonetheless muffles up on me whenever I try to sleep. So, and the hissing sound I keep on hearing whenever I swallow is giving me the impression that it's either air or some sort of gas being vented out of my eardrum, which is which is really which is really concerning, because I might I'm actually very worried if my eardrum was perforated, even though I was very worried that my eardrum might be perforated, even though there even though I was worried that one of my eardrums might be perforated, and despite me not feeling anything from my eardrum. This video is probably going to be much shorter than the last few I've done. After my Diplacusis and hearing pitch problems came back to bite my ass again 28 weeks ago. 28 weeks is a disturbingly long time for how my Diplacusis gave me so much hell, so it had now devolved from chronic to severe, and will still keep on giving me hell for tens of more weeks. And before anyone in the comments tells me to go to the doctor, I've already said in the last few videos that I've went to Kaiser 3 times for my ears with no such luck at all. I previously had an ear infection that's completely taken care of with antibiotics, although nowadays I still have no proper diagnosis as for why it caused me to have such long-term Diplacusis and hearing pitch issues for 28 weeks. And it still feels like something permanent has happened to it. I hope you all understand about my current Diplacusis progress, because even in late November, it still proved to be an agonizingly slow process, with only Discord RPs to keep me entertained. I'll be trying to do away with the myriad of ridiculous ideas I keep on getting suggested over the course of many weeks. Until my next update video, I'll see you all next time. Cheerio.